Okay, hi everybody. We're gonna go through what everybody is gonna need for makeup. So we just kind of laid everything out and we're gonna go over the product that you need. Okay, obviously, different kinds of brushes for your powders and your blushes and your foundations. A good foundation that will just kind of cover up any redness or muddiness. You just kind of wanna start with like a clean palette, make sure that their skin looks very even. Okay, a setting powder is fine, or any kind of powder to kind of give them that matte look. We don't want the kids to look super dewy or wet, so make sure they kind of have a matte look. Moving on, so blush, we're going to actually use the blush. We're going to try to use the blush that's in the kit, the kind of crappy kit that we got. We're not going to use probably anything else other than the blush, and this is kind of a shimmer that we're going to use. We're going to try to make that work. Okay, so if this blush is just a total mismatch for your child and you just think it looks awful, it's okay if you go with something that you feel like is a better match, but I'd kind of like us to match it if at all possible. Okay, so moving on. So we always have our kids do a good highlighter to sort of like add a little bit of glow to their skin. You can do whatever highlighter you feel like is going to best match your child. Because definitely the darker highlighters you don't want to put on a fair-skinned child, or they're going to kind of look muddy. So you want to make sure that you go with the color that looks good on them. And you're just going to kind of hit above the blush line to kind of add that little glow to their skin. So you want to move on to eyes. So this is what we want to do for like that cat eye. So this is kind of a good idea of a good liquid liner that you would want to get. You can see it has that nice point to the end, so you can really get a good cat eye going. And there's all different brands. There's no one particular brand that is really, we want you to purchase. It's whatever you want. I particularly use the waterproof so that it doesn't smudge and get all messy. So you guys can just use your discretion for that. Any good mascara is fine. Any black mascara that you can give them a good thick lash is fine, doesn't matter. Everybody by this time should have the blue red lip sense and then the clear gloss that goes over it. So both of those we will use. Talking a little bit about this, because masks are going to be required for our kids up until we go to warm-ups and compete, we probably, unless you have an older child, are not going to want to do their lipstick and everything and then go put the mask on, because that gloss is going to smear around and everything. And I'm okay with you guys waiting until you get to the venue to do lipstick. That's totally fine with me. Because like I said, they'll have to have those masks on when they first go. So we have two products that I'm going to kind of leave it up to you guys whether or not you want to purchase. This is actually going to go above, hopefully, if it all works out and we have enough time to do this. I'm hoping it'll be okay. This is by Wet n Wild. It's called Mega Liner, and I think it's electric blue, I think is the color. You can get this at a lot of different places. I get it at Walmart. You can get it at Target. You can get it on Amazon. Ulta has it. A bunch of people have it. So it's pretty easy to find. If you want to purchase your own, feel free to do that. Okay, this is the same general thing. I use the NYX brand. This is just a white eyeliner, okay? So it's just, gives you a little fine tip like that, and it's white. So like you can use any brand as long as it's white. I'm fine with that, okay? So these are the products that you kind of want to make sure that you have on hand regarding makeup, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and apply makeup to Harper, and then we're gonna kind of show you guys what we're doing so you know how to do it at home, okay? Or at the hotel.
Okay, first we're gonna apply a foundation and then follow that with just a loose powder. You can use a compact powder. I just prefer and had a loose powder. And really I'm just trying to cover up the little dark circles under her eyes, which she's not very tan this time. So we're just applying a little, I'm just doing a little matte powder just to kind of set the foundation. I did notice that, she hasn't seen a lot of sun lately, so her foundation shade is just a little darker. I know we were talking about it, and we would almost prefer, if your shade is off, that it be off on the light side as opposed to the dark side, because you don't want to have that dark line on their face and then their white little neck. So yeah. Good example. Hers is just a little bit too dark. I will probably have to get her something a little bit lighter for the beginning of the season. All right, now we're gonna do a little bit of blush. I don't like this brush very much. much, but your face is so little. Her little face and this big brush. We'll look at this side. So that's kind of our blush from our...
That's actually pretty.
Yeah. Okay, I couldn't decide on highlighters last year, and so over prepared I bought the one with 3. Really just pick what kind of matches your kid's skin. I'm gonna go with the lighter one because she's pretty fair complected, and we're just kind of, this brush is not great either, so I'm gonna rub that kind of in. I think last year I used my finger even.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so with putting the foundation on first, you may, especially the athletes that have lighter eyebrows, the little ones I'm sure are not gonna care much. The older girls obviously are gonna have their eyebrows done on fleek. I'm super uncool, but I'm just gonna go in and just kind of touch up some of the areas where they might be a lighter. Her brows still stand out pretty decent, but not anything major. We're not asking you to get them perfect, but just enough to kind of have them stand out just a little bit. Especially, like I said, the blondes, putting the foundation on, you may not actually get to see their eyebrows, so nothing crazy, just enough to make them have a little bit of color.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the black cat eye. So what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that the black cat eye is pretty thick. If you do a really thin cat eye, their eyes don't pop out. Their eyes just kind of fall back into their head and you just don't see that pop of their eyes. So you wanna make sure that that cat eye is pretty thick, okay? So what I usually do is I just kind of start right in the middle. And I just kind of go, I know she likes to flinch. So your kids that flinch, you have to kind of just go real easy with it. And then you're just gonna kind of pull it out. And you're gonna kind of go toward the edge of their eyebrow is kind of where you wanna go. Okay, and you're just gonna, it doesn't matter if it looks messy at first. You're just gonna kind of keep pulling until you get to about there. And then I go back, okay, I'm gonna go in, okay. Real easy, okay. And I just kind of start getting right into that lash, get up close. And you just want to kind of keep pulling it over. And you can just kind of work on straightening that. She's a flincher, so she tends to like flutter her eyes and it makes that line go kind of crooked. So you just kind of have to play with it, okay? And you just want to kind of make sure that all of those little bare spots are filled in, okay? And that's about the thickness that you want. And you can kind of see that that just kind of goes right up toward that eyebrow, okay? Okay. So now we're gonna go in with the blue that I talked about earlier. And the blue doesn't have to be super thick, doesn't have to be as thick as the black, but you definitely want the blue to be fairly thick. So you're gonna kind of do the same thing. You're just gonna start kind of in here at the tip. Oh, and you see she flinched again, so we'll have to fix that with black. And you just kind of pull that across. This is kind of dry. This is an old one, so. And you're just gonna pull it across until it just kind of meets up with that black at the end, okay? And now you can see that if your child flinches like that and they get kind of a goopy of black or a blue right there, all you have to do is just take the black and just cover right over that and it'll cover. Okay, so if you get like a little bump or a little like unevenness in the line, all you have to do is just take a Q-tip and just kind of rub it out a little bit, and then you can just go right back and just kind of even that line up. And like I said, if you have a flincher, you may have to do this several times to kind of get that line where it's not all bumpy and crooked, okay? So the last thing we're gonna do is kind of go back. I've fixed the lines, I've kind of smoothed everything out. And then you're just gonna go back in with that white, okay? And this is kind of the tricky part, but you can fix it if you mess it up. Hold on, that's kind of goopy. Okay, and this is a little dried out, so hopefully this goes okay. All right, so you're just gonna kind of start that in and you're just gonna run that line. This is a little goopy. And you're just gonna pull it out like that, okay? She's flinching on me, so I don't know how smooth I can get it just yet. This is a little bit goopy. Okay, so like I said, don't worry about the little bump there because you can just go right back over it with the blue. But you do have to let this dry before you try to fix anything, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna use a little bit of this white shimmer and we're just gonna kind of go in with our finger like this. And we're just gonna kind of pull it across. And you're gonna add that nice shimmer onto the tops of their eyes. Okay, so we typically add some kind of a glitter to their eye. It varies from year to year. This we used last year. Unfortunately, this color has been discontinued, so I had to order some new. So I will have that for the competitions for us to use. I'm just gonna kind of show you guys though, kind of what we're gonna do. All we're gonna do, we'll have whatever kind that I decide that we're gonna go with. I've ordered several. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go in and just kind of hit them with some glitter, just like that. Just kind of cover up a little bit that shimmer, hit them in there with that glitter, give them that nice sparkle on the top, and there you go. Very simple.
Okay, we're gonna do mascara next. Like Jen said, any kind of mascara. If they can do it themselves, look down. They can do it themselves, that's great too, just as long as they're not getting it all over. Typically Harper does her own, which makes it a little bit easier for me, but. So we're gonna do our lipstick. We've put our mascara on, we're gonna do our lipstick. With the lip sense, you really wanna make sure that the lips are clean, and you definitely do not want to use chapstick the day of. And like how I have put her foundation on, she's got a little bit of foundation on her lips. I'm actually gonna take a wet wipe or a makeup cloth. She tends to get chapped lips, so I'm gonna use the makeup cloth because it's a little gentler. Yeah, we're gonna exfoliate all of the skin, dead skin. So if you need to rub a little bit, you wanna get the lips as clean as possible.
I'm gonna ask you that the lip sense will not adhere to lips that have stuff on them.
Right. Like Jen said, it's not, the lip sense won't stay. You'll have like spotty coverage if we don't get those lips clean and clean her teeth too while I'm at it. Quit moving your lips. But yeah, so now she's got a good base. We'll let that dry for a second. Make sure the lips are dry. Typically I had like a towel or something that I can dry them off with. They're gonna complain that it may sting.
Kind of tingles.
Yeah.
Tingles.
They will live. You definitely want to get 2 coats on. So even if they tell you it stings and they're going to die, once you put the gloss on it, it will stop that tingly feeling, but you definitely want to get 2 coats on. I try to go in and just line where it's supposed to be first because she is a wiggler. Okay. Nope, don't close. Okay, so exactly what not to do. Do not close your lip and don't get it on your teeth. All right, hold still, sis. Okay, and then I'm gonna let this dry for a few seconds, and then we're gonna go back and hit it with a second coat. Oh man, we're showing all the things not to do right now. So lip sense is hard for these little girls to understand, but we're gonna go, so at this point we've got 2 coats on. Some girls may need 3, but you got your color coats on. She wiggled a little bit, we got a little down here, so I'll have to go back with some foundation and fix that because it is not gonna come off. But we're gonna apply our lip gloss.
And remember, they can do this at the venue also, like if they feel like they need help or
Yeah.
with the mask situation.
We'll definitely all be around to help. My rule is trade kids with your friend. So sometimes they stand better for somebody else. So just swap kids and do lipstick. Otherwise, you're going to end up with it on your teeth like this one.